Good day. My name is Aaron Bradford with Liberty Encounters. I'm here with one of my sons, and we are portraying Delaware Continental soldiers. And right now we're going to be focusing on how you load and fire a firelock or a flintlock. However, we have two different types of flintlocks. My son here is holding a shorter, heavier flintlock rifle, which has spiraled rifle grooves cut inside the barrel to twist and spiral the round lead balls that comes out. In order to use that rifling, though, one must take a grease patch or hammer, wrap the ball with the patch, and pound it down to get a nice tight fit. So to utilize the rifling, which makes this deadly accurate at 100 yards with a fixed back sight, then it would be slower to load with the grease patch. However, if you're in a pinch, instead of wrapping your ball with the grease of their patch, you can load and fire the rifle the same way that I load and fire the smoothbore musket. So this is a musket, which means it's longer, and also, being a musket, it can handle a bayonet, which can be very effective in close quarter fighting. But because this is a smoothbore musket, that means that there's no spiraled rifle grooves cut inside the barrel. So the ball is going to be a little loose fitting going down without that grease of their patch, but it's going to be loose fitting coming out. It's going to wobble flying through the air, and it's accurate at about 80 yards or so. So a rifle, if you take the time to wrap the ball, is pretty accurate, but if you're in a pinch, you can load and fire faster. So it's almost a question, what's more important to you at the moment? Is it rate of fire or is it accuracy? So with that being said, we're now going to go through the steps to load and fire these firelock muskets. So first command, using His Majesty's 1764 manual, is attention. Rest your firelocks. Shoulder your firelocks. Now, we can usually maximize our firepower by massing our men together on the battlefield. So, detachment to the left, face. We can load and fire in two ranks. This musket is long enough to safely fire over my son's shoulder without being afraid of hurting him. And that gives us twice as much firepower on that space in the battlefield. So we're now going to go through the steps to load. So, by the numbers, prime and load. 1, we bring our right hand across and grab it under the trigger guard. 2, we throw our left hand up and kick our musket off our left shoulder at our side. So the musket is, or the firelock is brought off the left side, just off your left shoulder there. Then upon 3, we bring our right foot behind our left foot. We bring our musket to our right side like we're playing a guitar. The next command is called open your pan. So we take our right thumb, we open up our pan. This is called the steel, and now I can access a small scooped out piece of metal called the pan, and I've got a hole at the bottom of the barrel called the vent. I've opened up my pan. The next command is called handle your cartridge. We reach inside our cartridge box with the right hand, and then we pull out a cartridge. Now, instead of using a powder horn with loose gunpowder, having to pour it into a measure and use muscle memory to get the right amount of powder, a fast way to load is to have the proper amount of gunpowder and the musket ball all wrapped up inside, ready to go. So, in order to open this with one hand, however, we must take our cartridge, place it into our mouth, and tear it, spitting that paper in the face of the enemy. That's why a requirement to be a soldier in the army is that you have at least 2 teeth in front of your head. They have to match. So, once we've torn open our cartridge, the next command is prime. We pour a small amount of gunpowder into our pan. If we pour too much, we might lose our eyebrows when we go to fire. So we want about a third of the pan full of powder. Next command is shut your pans. It's very important so our gunpowder doesn't spill out. Next command is cast about. So we bring the musket to our left side and step back up with the right foot. Notice the bottom of the musket is off the ground. The next command is load. We pour down the rest of the gunpowder, shaking out any powder from the paper cartridge. We next take our thumb to get the musket ball started. Next command is draw your rammer. So we pull the rammer over our left shoulder so we don't hit the man next to us, and then insert the rammer just at the end. The next command is ram down your cartridge. So we ram the ball all the way to the bottom of the barrel, and then immediately put the rammer back until we bring the small of our hand atop the ramrod with our elbow across. Next command is return your rammer. So we push the rammer back a couple inches further, bring our left hand up, right hand across. Now, to show our officer that we finished loading, the command is shoulder. So now we're back to where we started. So now that we've loaded, we need 3 more commands to fire. So those commands are make ready. We bring the musket around to our side, stepping back with the right foot. We will now fire by rank to give you a better sense. So front rank, present. Notice the bottom of the rifle is into the shoulder. The left hand is far enough forward so he will not be scorched by the flash in the pan, and the rifle is in the shoulder. Because when we fire and the ball goes forward, the rifle is going to kick back. The last command will be fire. As pulled, flint will fall forward and strike the steel and drop a shower of sparks into a loose fill pan of gunpowder and send the ball flying down range. Now these flintlocks, you may rest, have a 20% misfire rate on a good day. So that's a big reason why we train to fire in volleys, to send a wall of lead flying through the air downrange at the enemy. And if one of us has a flash in the pan or misfire, enough other muskets should go off to send a devastating effect against the enemy. All right, so that is how we load and fire the musket. So now that we've talked about it, now we will do it. So attention detachment, shoulder your firelocks. Front rank, make ready. Present. Fire. So this illustrates the point that we were talking about a moment ago. We appeared to fail to get a shower of sparks to ignite the gunpowder in the pan. It's also very humid, and we're in the middle of a swamp. And so high humidity can also lead to there being a lack of getting a shower of sparks as well. Tension attachment. Front rank, make ready. Present. Fire. Front rank. Half cock your firelock. Half cock. Load. So while the front rank is loading, the rear rank can have a loaded line of muskets. And so as the front rank is loading, rear rank, make ready. Present. Fire. Load. Load and shoulder. So by staggering our fire, we can reduce the amount of time that we are empty. So now that each rank fired, we can also fire together in a crushing volley as the enemy gets closer. Detachment, make ready. Present. Fire. Half cock your firelock. Shut your pans. Shoulder your firelocks. Fix your bayonets. Now, riflemen are at a distinct disadvantage if it comes to close quarter fighting. Shoulder your firelocks. Oftentimes, riflemen will carry a tomahawk for close quarters, or they could club their muskets and use it as a club as well. But the bayonet is mainly designed to intimidate the enemy. So detachment to the right, face. So to give you a sense of what the bayonet looks like, the command would be, if I'm in the rear rank here, the command would be, charge your bayonets. Huzzah! From this point, we can march forward against the enemy. So thank you for your time and interest, and hopefully that gives you a better sense of all that goes into loading and firing the musket, and also how we can coordinate between front rank and rear rank, and hopefully finish with the bayonet. Thank you.